biggest game in UTSA women's basketball history was played here in Waco in the NCAA tournament. They took Baylor to overtime, ultimately coming up short on a day when Coach Barmore stepped in for Coach Mulkey at the helm that day. Bella Fauntleroy trying to connect with the early three, won't fall. Again, Baylor coming off that big win over Southeastern Louisiana, knocking off the Lions 112-47. Roadrunners looking for their bounce-back opportunity today after their first loss in their last 18 home games against UNLV. And a nice find early on in the paint. That's Idar Udo, second team All-American Athletic Conference last year.
And that was a really nice pass from Hardaway. She just sealed off her defender and was able to give Hardaway a clear path and throw that pass right at the basket.
Big shoes to fill at the point guard position for UTSA. Last year they had a grad transfer who stepped right into the program, helped lead them to their first regular season title in the American Athletic Conference, only to be ousted in the first round of the conference tournament. And missing out on the NCAA, they would go to the WBIT. Fauntleroy steps inside for a closer look. As that shot falls into the arms of Demara Allen. So Baylor 0 for their first couple of shots here. Roadrunners 1 for 1 thus far. And Ereauna Robles out of Puerto Rico, but went to high school here in Texas at Fossil Ridge. The freshman leads this offense. And an early block for one of those prolific shot-blocking teams in the nation. Baylor right now is number 2 in the country, flexing their defensive might right there. Fauntleroy with the extra pass to Van Beek will be called for the walk. It's just good to be able to see Jana walk this time of year after last year was a spectator out with that knee surgery. Of course, Karen Aston, formerly employed twice here in Waco. Her first ever college coaching job was on the staff here at Baylor. Her last assistant coach job was here in Waco before she would take over at Charlotte, North Texas with the Longhorns, and now at UTSA.
And she has her team ready to play today. They're playing aggressive on the defensive end. They're in the zone, and they have their hands high. They're deflecting passes and giving Baylor trouble early on.
16 to shoot for the Roadrunners. Karen Aston in her 5th year at the helm of UTSA. And a foul on the visitors in the blue and orange. Low-scoring affair here through the first 2 minutes. Roadrunners wouldn't mind if it stayed that way. I mentioned they made their first shot, now 0 for the last 4. They've gotten some second chance opportunities. See how long we can go without saying the name of Talia Scott. Van Geitenbeek pours in the first 3, and it's Baylor's first lead.
Yeah, she's starting to hit her 3-point shots. At the beginning of the year, she really struggled. In the last game, we learned she had kind of a slight change to her shooting motion or position, so good to see her knock one down early.
Coming off a 12-assist performance, both she and Scott with double-digit assists. Baylor moved the ball really well against those Lions of Southeastern Louisiana. Roadrunners able to find the shooter straight away. Ereauna Hardaway, the former North Texas Mean Green standout, now in her first and final year with the Roadrunners. And Geitenbeek had that 3-pointer the last trip down. Here's Scott with her first shot. And looking to run the other way. Robles one-on-one with Van Geitenbeek, goes into the Bear defender, able to avoid the foul, and possession will stay on this end with Nikki Collins' women. Both of our head coaches now in their 5th year with their respective programs. Of course, Nikki Collins, former standout at Marquette, former WNBA Coach of the Year in Atlanta, and has made herself right at home here in Central Texas. Ereauna Hardaway foregoes the shot. Mentioned first year since coming over from North Texas. Rowe, you mentioned, had those 20 points against Grand Canyon. And pours in a pair right there.
Yeah, gets her first 2 on the jump shot. You can see they're not attacking the basket to get layups because, like you mentioned, Baylor is a top shot blocking team, so they're going to have to make shots from inside the arc without getting all the way to the basket.
Fauntleroy down low, just can't connect and unable to stay in bounds while trying to salvage that ball. Kirsten Johnson, the turnover from Baylor. Of course, Kirsten Johnson out of that high school powerhouse of Duncanville. Transfers in from Oklahoma. Already 3 turnovers early on for Baylor. That's something that's plagued UTSA here in non-conference play, turnovers. Averaging almost 21 a ball game. And they'll never get a shot off. 3-second call against UTSA. Roadrunners just had 5 losses all of last year, went 17-1 in the American. I'd argue no program in Division I has benefited more from the last 2 realignments, the big shifts in Division I than UTSA, first moving from the WAC to Conference USA and then to the American. A lot of that, the attractiveness of their football program. And they're being in a big city like San Antonio and its untapped potential. Robles will come back on. Fellow starter Ereauna Hardaway will step off. Roadrunners getting a little bit bigger. They bring in their 6'4" German, Amelia Danbauer. Averaging about 12 minutes a ball game. Might see more than that today, trying to match some of the size and length in the green and gold.
Yeah, and right there, it's bothering them. Baylor's trying to get the over-the-top pass to their post players who are trying to push their defender up the line, but that's the second time we've just seen them throw the ball away out of bounds and miss the target.
KJ will come off for Kyla Abraham. Dan Bauer, a member of the German junior national team, also very good as a 3-on-3 player. Allen tries to work it down low to the German. Allen driving baseline, and it'll put a foul on Ereauna Little Page Bugs.
Foul is called on the Bears, number 5, Ereauna Little Page Bugs.
UTSA is being very aggressive. Allen taking the ball hard against the taller defender and forcing them to call the fouls.
Fauntleroy gets her ejection, flat-footed, able to deny Cheyenne Rowe. Baylor the other way. Midway through the opening quarter, Scott tries to work it down low into Abraham. 5th turnover for Baylor. This will stay with UTSA. Oh, it will not stay here in Waco as we step aside. 5 minutes to go in the opening frame. The Roadrunners looking to make some national headlines up against 14th ranked. Last year setting records overall in the wins column as well as in conference play. They did get that automatic bid to the WBIT. That used to be the case in the WNIT by virtue of being a regular season champion who did not make it into the NCAA tournament. But probably their most impressive season as a program. I mentioned their biggest wins, obviously, their biggest gains were in the NCAA tournament in back-to-back years, including 1 year here in Waco. But now that they're competing at a higher level, that was the Southland Conference they were emerging out of. These days in the American Athletic Conference. First time today for Baylor, we're seeing Eugene Dunn, the transfer out of Auburn. And Geitenbeek. And that's a nice response coming out of the break for Baylor. 2 3-pointers already for Jana.
Yeah, you normally see, like you said last game, Jana had 12 assists, but this game she's going to need to knock down shots because UTSA is forcing them to shoot them in that zone.
Double up on Hardaway. She finds the open teammate, Udo. Dunn able to track down the rebound. No surprises in either starting 5 here today. Baylor's had the exact same starting 5 now, all 10 games to start the. And first trip to the free throw line for the home team. Van Geitenbeek now 2 for 2 from downtown.
Number 10, Sinai B. And number 21, Cheyenne.
That was the second personal foul on Udo. Udo's had foul issues as of late, limiting her ability to make it all the way to the fourth quarter of ball games. Again, that's your returning all-conference player. You're the Roadrunners.
But you need her up against the size of Baylor. You talked about on the inside. They're a shot-blocking team, so you need somebody to combat that on the offense and defensive end. And now they're going to be without her for a little bit.
Baylor applying the press. Roadrunners able to beat it for a moment. Then Van Geitenbeek gets a hand on it, able to slap it off the point guard Robles and win it back for Baylor.
And I felt like it was only a moment of time before we saw that Baylor was going to apply some pressure to the guards. You mentioned they averaged 21 turnovers a game, which is a large number, and they just haven't had the opportunity to press until now.
So Baylor held their last opponent to 7 points in the first quarter, but that first quarter was 38-7 against Southeastern the other night. Baylor went on a 32-0 run in that opening frame. Little Paige Buggs is going to go back to the charity stripe. First lead of the ball game, by the way, for Baylor right now.
Baylor has to continue to do this. Be aggressive. Don't settle for the three-point shot just because they're playing zone. You just see another look. Ereauna catches it at the high post, rips, and is able to draw the foul through the defense.
UTSA, number 5, Mia Hayes.
DLB was 2 for 2 from the charity stripe. Her last time at the line. Just a little under a 50% free throw shooter here early in the year, so nice showing so far. And she knocks down her first 4 of the ball game. We'll see Markayla Johnson, the lone freshman on the Baylor roster this year, step out onto the floor.
She comes in for defense, so you see right away she's going to be guarding the point guard of UTSA and trying to apply that pressure.
Averaging about 20 minutes per ball game off the bench. They love her energy, as you know, playing with lots of confidence in her first year of college. Right into the heart of that Baylor defense. Shot won't go for Hardaway as UTSA one and done. Dunn from the corner in front of the Roadrunner bench, a tad too strong. Rebound by Hardaway. Took the eyes off the prize. Slips through the fingertips of Holloman.
Yeah, this is another turnover. We mentioned 21 turnovers per game. They did a great job in the first 5 minutes of the game not turning the ball over, and now we've seen 2 turnovers in the last 3 possessions.
So again, up the floor with Van Geitenbeek. 2 years at Stanford, now her 4th and final year at Baylor. I feel like most of her classmates at Stanford would say that math doesn't add up. Dunn from the corner. Johnson, it falls right into her lap. And Geitenbeek looking for her 3rd triple, no. How about a 3rd chance opportunity? Abraham with the rebound. It's one of the Baylor Bears trying to fill Nettie's big shoes from last year. Been a great rim protector. Her time here with Nikki Collin in Waco. Again, only 30% of Baylor's offense returned this year for Nikki Collin from that talented team last season. And finished runners-up in the Big 12 tournament to TCU. And one more chance to knock one down. Well, 7-0 run right now for Baylor, while UTSA has gone cold for the last 4 minutes without a score. Good help defense from Abraham, denying the entry along the baseline. 10 to shoot for UTSA. Trying to bully her way in. One step too many, though, by Cheyenne Rowe.
Yeah, that was good defense right there, though. Just staying down, making her travel. She just looked uncomfortable. She was kind of off balance. right there, Rose just not able to put it in without traveling.
It was Baylor with turnover issues early on. Now it's the Roadrunners. Dunn, plenty of time to measure it up. The rebound brought in by Sinai Bean, freshman out in New Orleans. Hammonds works around Fauntleroy in a nice confident move by the sophomore out of the San Antonio area, went to Steele High School in Cibolo. Take it back to the bucket by the sophomore Hammonds.
Yeah, really good bucket right here. Bella Fauntleroy is a really good defender, and all she does is get her to go one way, lean one way, she goes back the other way.
They love the length and the potential of Mia Hammonds at 6'3". They're at guard. Their dad played Division III ball. Donnell at Virginia Wesleyan, which is about to undergo a name change. They'll still be the Marlins, though. One more here for Van Geitenbeek. And we'll bring Talia Scott back in for fellow starter Jana Van Geitenbeek. Van Geitenbeek goes to the bench as your game's leading scorer with 8 points, including a couple of triples. But here's the team's leading scorer, almost 24 points a night from Talia Scott in her first year in Waco. And she's number 3 in the nation in free throw attempts, something we've yet to see so far today. A quick release, shot ultimately won't fall for Allen, and ball lost out of bounds, back over to Baylor. Now the team shooting 30% in this one. Baylor 2 of 10 from the floor. They have more points from the free throw line so far, with 7. And speaking of the free throw line, that's exactly where Markayla Johnson's headed.
And there goes Karen Aston just screamed and implored for her team to stop fouling. Because right there, Markayla Johnson got bailed out. That was not a very good shot to take that early in the shot clock. And UTSA just continues to foul them and put them on the free throw line.
Well, part of that is Karen Aston has 6 players on her roster who are unavailable to her, several of them out for the year, and so that's going to be a thin bench if you keep hearing that whistle throughout the first half. One more from Markayla. Right now is 8 of 19 from the charity stripe this year as a freshman. And this after the Roadrunners have already been whistled for 7 fouls. Baylor's been whistled once. It won't go. The offensive rebound tapped to Johnson. And a fresh shot clock for the women in gold today. Scott, kick out, looking for another 3-ball from Johnson, and maybe the 4th time will be the charm. Talia Scott straight away. No, and finally UTSA comes up with it. It's Tamara Allen. Inside the final minute here in quarter number 1. I think if you told the Roadrunners you were going to hold Baylor to about 13 points, they'd be pretty pleased. They were leading early in this one. Just 2 points, though, since the last time out. They will now earn a trip to the line. With the first whistle on Talia Scott. Ereauna will come back in.
A lot of fouling, I think, from both teams. You talked about UTSA's short bench, but I just think Baylor doesn't want to commit a foul right there. You have the size advantage inside and make them finish over your length.
20 on the shot clock for UTSA. Turnover in the paint. Roadrunners do a good job getting numbers back, but Talia Scott, undeterred, doesn't care about a numbers discrepancy, able to finish with the left hand. A mid-range stroke will match the 2 points. Those courtesy of Ereauna Hardaway, and that'll do it for the opening frame. Talia Scott with the final Baylor score of the opening quarter, her only score of the opening frame.
Yeah, what a way to do it. Just speed down the court, finding.
Directly to cancer research. It is nearly impossible not to have cancer touch someone close to you. This is something obviously we can all relate with. And obviously this time of year, so many great things done by the V Foundation. Roadrunners got off to a good start there in that opening quarter, then turnovers right on cue got in the way. Fauntleroy with the steal that time. Baylor still only made 3 shots from the floor. Again, doing some heavy lifting from the free throw line. Johnson off the mark. Tipped back out by Fauntleroy to the freshman.
Yeah, you would think with all of those offensive rebounds they're getting that they're getting points off of them, but they are not. They're settling for pull-up jump shots and hard contested threes.
Johnson from the corner. Got it.
And that was an open three. Those are the shots you want to shoot are the threes coming off offensive rebounds that are open and your feet are set and you're ready to shoot.
First player not named, Jana Van Geitenbeek, to knock down a 3 for Baylor. And with that said, Jana about to sub back in. They'll let him play. A nice job continuing through the contact, Demara Allen. Kayla Johnson still tucked in that corner where she hit a 3 a moment ago. And said it's Abraham who will bank it in. Timeout, Roadrunners. Biggest lead of the ball game for 14th ranked Baylor. Up 7 points here early in quarter number 2. Roadrunners have lost their last 5 to Baylor. That's stretched over a few decades. Again, they last met Baylor in 2013. Their last win in Waco, 1989. We were not sharing login passwords back in 1989 to watch these games. Seven to shoot for Hardaway in UTSA. Looking for help, gets that help, and Fauntleroy trying to affect the shot, but it'll still go in for Cheyenne Rowe.
Yeah, that was her second free throw line jumper. It looks like she's confident shooting the ball from there.
And Rowe did make it to an NCAA tournament her 1 year at JMU. Now her 3rd year with the Roadrunners, the Canadian. And Geitenbeek already with a season-high 8 points. Fauntleroy unable to knock it down, and Baylor now is 3 of 13 from beyond the arc. Nobody picks up Rowe. Can't hit it from the elbow, and that one's stripped away by Mia Hammonds. Roadrunners 0 for 2, and they save it to Talia Scott and Baylor. Van Geitenbeek wants it. Van Geitenbeek gets it. Fauntleroy still looking for her first trifecta. You see the numbers, the struggles from downtown Waco so far today. Good job creating traffic. Little Paige Bugs tried to tie her up even better. The turnover, Van Geitenbeek, and the reach-in foul by Demara Allen.
Yeah, Jana Van Geitenbeek has been really active today on the offensive end, now the defensive end, getting a steal, getting her hands in there. She's been good for them today. You can see she's always roaming around. Her energy is contagious. Right place, right time.
Allen becomes the 3rd Roadrunner with 2 fouls here in the opening half. And mentioned Van Geitenbeek already has matched her season-high 8 points. Also finding other ways to contribute as well. 3 Roadrunners in the area, and they force the turnover. Screen from Rowe. Allen determined to get it into Udo, who's finally back in the ballgame after she had picked up her second foul. A possession arrow on the tie-up will give this back over to Baylor. Another turnover by the Roadrunners. With that said, Baylor's been held scoreless for the last couple of minutes, keeping this just a 5-point ball game. And a walk. That'll help her NBA aspirations, but not here in the college game.
Yeah, we're just seeing a lot of careless turnovers from both teams, whether it's the post-entry pass right there, just the miscommunication with the point guard, and Ereauna Little-Page Bugs travels in the backcourt.
They don't travel in the W, do they? That's just an NBA thing.
Never.
And love the intros here in Waco with all the players who've gone on to professional careers. 2 seconds to get this shot off. I don't think it's going to happen. Extra pass. They didn't have that luxury. They say it was out of the hand in time. Wow.
I'm not sure who got that shot off, but they play on.
Robles with a second chance for Baylor. High arcing three won't fall for Mia Hammonds, and in the end, no damage done. You be the judge. And that clock strikes 0-0. Where is the basketball?
Not even in the upward shooting motion. It wasn't even close.
Have we already started the 12 days of Christmas? Was that the first gift?
It was. They get another gift right here with the Van Guyton being pushed off. I'm not sure Robles didn't help her sell that.
Well, to UTSA's credit, they're level with Baylor on the board still, rebounding 14 apiece. That's helped them keep them in this ball game. There's not been an offensive renaissance for either team. Again, Baylor among the best in the nation. And saying no, ma'am. Fauntleroy foregoes the open look. Touch pass. Van Guyton looking for a new season high. Off the mark that time. Maybe too wide open, and the Roadrunners almost give it right back. But salvaged by Robles, the freshman. Still plenty of time on the shot clock for UTSA. Robles, smooth stroke. They are really high on this freshman. A pure point guard. Just needs the experience that they had last year when they had a grad transfer run in the offense. Long miss. A rebound out to Holloman. Holloman growing up in a basketball household. Her dad, Will, a JUCO All-American. Her brothers, Adante and Adonis, both playing Division I. Drawing contact. Which way does it go? That's Fauntleroy stepping in to get another turnover after the Roadrunners had a chance to tie this game up.
Yeah, they did a good job. Baylor right there. Ereauna Little-Page Bugs is putting pressure on the ball, forcing Hammond to make a decision instead of being comfortable running. What we saw offensive play last possession when Robles was able to hit that three-point shot.
Second time we see the sophomore transfer from Auburn, Eugene Dunn. Of course, a little more War Eagle flavoring in Waco these days with Johnny Harris, the former head coach at Auburn, now joining the staff of Nikki Collin. Dunn already winning over the fans with that game-winning shot in overtime against Davidson, and that one just a modest mid-range stroke going in. And Udo among the four Roadrunners playing with multiple fouls in the opening half. Something to keep an eye on throughout the rest of the ball game. He's going to have to stay physical against these big bodies for Baylor. Two players too close to each other, and that's going to lead to a turnover. Both Fauntleroy and Dunn thought that was for them.
Yeah, the turnover just continue to mount on unnecessary possessions right there. Just communicate. You have to know where your teammates are. Just two people running to the ball, turning it over, giving it right back to UTSA.
And Nikki Collins' offense coming off that 112-point performance. First time to cross the century mark this year against Southeastern the other night. Fauntleroy able to break up the pass. It'll still be UTSA basketball. UTSA picked second in the preseason poll in the American. Baylor picked third in the Big 12. After all that turnover from last year for the Bears. Nifty inside move. Cheyenne Rowe.
Yeah, that was a good basket from her. She stayed on balance. Last time we saw she traveled. This time she was able to stay on balance and step through.
Again, she's been an everyday starter for the Roadrunners this year. Didn't make her first career start until last year, late January in conference play against South Florida. Fauntleroy finally ends the over. Had missed her first 7 shots before that one fell. Robles in the paint. That one climbs up and over the rim. It's a 2-point ball game here in Waco.
Yeah, they're kind of lulling Baylor to sleep on the defensive end, making them guard them for long possessions of the shot clock, running through their plays, and they're getting to the rim and finishing.
Again, Roadrunners have held Talia Scott to just 3 shot attempts, and instead it's Van Geitenbeek who continues to answer the call. That is her 3rd 3. Again, new season high with 11 points.
Answering the call is right. She stepped into those threes, knocked them down confidently, while someone like Talia Scott, who we expect to score those threes, has struggled in this first quarter. And second, we're almost to halftime.
Inside 2 minutes to go here until the midway break. Hardaway wide open to Rowe.
And they're just hanging around. They're getting buckets, getting stops, forcing Baylor to turn the ball over.
Back to a 1-score affair. Van Geitenbeek's most recent triple is the difference maker right now. Scott, of course, all year has been a difference maker. Fauntleroy. Dunn tips it to herself, the finish, and one.
Yeah, what a finish by Dunn right there. Offensive rebound has been the answer, and she's come in and just brought that energy. You see right here, crashes the glass hard off the Fauntleroy, misses, and able to go right back up through the contact.
What a luxury to bring Dunn in off the bench this year for Baylor. Has not made many trips to the charity stripe this year. She is 3 for 3 in limited opportunities. Yeah, that's how averages work. 3-point possession for Baylor. Baylor's made now 4 of their last 5 shots. Roadrunners made 3 of their last 3. They've basically in unison both been plagued by turnovers, and all of a sudden both found their stride offensively. It's kept the game close. They've made their last 4. Robles knocks it down.
Yeah, she's an impressive freshman. She has the inside game, the 3-pointer, the pull-up, and right there, big stop by UTSA. Udo stepped in, sacrificing those 2 fouls she already has to draw the charge.
You got to be confident. You've already got 2 fouls, stepping in front of Talia Scott. And the charge on Scott. Her 2nd personal. First Bear to be whistled twice. Udo will still come out for good measure, presumably for this final minute. To avoid picking up that 3rd, Scott will do the same. This is where Baylor has a little bit more depth on that bench today. Final minute of the opening half. Turnover by the Roadrunners. Dunn comes up with the steal. Van Geitenbeek trying to lead the tempo the other way. Little Page bugs. They'll say it's a clean slap of the ball by Mia Hammonds, and it's back to the Roadrunners.
Yeah, you mentioned a 6'3" guard playing the wing position, similar to Ereauna Little Page Bugs, and right there she got the best of her.
And Roadrunners have made their last 4 shots after they began the game 8 of 24. To shoot. Hardaway from the wing. Shot clock off. Let's see if Baylor opts to hold for the final quality look. Baylor shooting 34% this ball game. This quarter much better at 46%. Roadrunners shooting 41% here in Waco. Inside, and this will lead to free throws with 2.1 seconds to go. We're still looking probably at a 2-possession ball game going into halftime. That is the 3rd foul on Allen, the first player for either team to pick up a 3rd whistle. And bring in Udo in just to hope to deny Baylor an offensive rebound. Again, for Udo, you do not want to get a 3rd foul in these final 2 seconds. Again, Baylor put up 38 in the first quarter the other day against Southeastern Louisiana of the Southland Conference, one of the better teams in the Southland. It's going to be a 5-point ball game going into halftime here in Waco. 14th ranked Baylor being tested by the Roadrunners out of the American. Season high in the first half, game high 11 points for Jana Van. Amber Gregg, again, after her time at UTSA, a former assistant over in Lafayette with the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana. Now, 2nd year back at her alma mater. She once knocked down 17 free throws against in-state rival Texas State in a ball game. That's 17 more free throws than UTSA's attempted today. They have yet to make their way to the charity stripe. And as a result, the fans can't get cupcakes just yet. Fauntleroy with another ejection. This stays with UTSA. She's battling with Udo. And Udo will pick up her 3rd foul on the offensive foul. And you can give Bella full credit.
Yeah, just a little too much with that shoulder. It was a good move, but you just can't displace the defensive player, and that's what she did right there. Just lowered her shoulder into Fauntleroy.
Reminder that semi-halo, that restricted arc, no longer applies to the women's game. So it wasn't a matter of Fauntleroy being inside the arc. She's able to draw the offensive foul. Van Geitenbeek looking for a 4th. She's got it. 14 points, still the only player in double digits for either team.
But right out of halftime, you see Baylor's intention. If Van Geitenbeek has the high hand, that is who we are going to. And right there, she knocks down another one.
Talia Scott pestering Hardaway, and that'll be the 3rd on Talia. No other Bear has more than 1. 3 of the team's 5 fouls in this ball game have been whistled against the newcomer here in Waco, Talia Scott. Former McDonald's All-American out of the state of Florida. That's a stat line you don't see very often. More fouls than points.
Yeah, they've really frustrated her today, though. They've made her force her into some shots that she doesn't want to take. And on the defensive end, using her against the point guard, so forcing her to defend.
4 to shoot. Robles in for a closer look. Probably thought she was fouled by Van Geitenbeek, and that is a shot clock violation. Allen just had to heave one up, unable to do so in time. And Roadrunners off to a 3-4 start this year, including their first home loss in over a year. Their last outing against UNLV. Fauntleroy trying to repay the favor to DLB for the screen, and nice defensive job by Cheyenne Rowe. They're trying to reward Rowe on the other end. Matched up with KJ. Didn't get a hand on the shot, but still affected the shot. Stripped away, Van Geitenbeek is going to stay with Baylor.
Yeah, just trying to make something happen on the offensive end. You see Scott is struggling. That's normally their go-to player. She puts points up like it's no tomorrow, and today she's struggling from the field. So you're going to see Van Guytenbeek be more aggressive because Talia Scott has struggled.
Van Guytenbeek's three-pointer this quarter, still the only 3 points for either team coming out of the locker rooms. Scott draws contact. She's going to get back to the line. Her first free throws today. Again, she is the third most prolific free throw scorer in the nation this year. She'll be looking for points 3 and 4 on the afternoon.
And she's such a good scorer. She's going to find a way to put herself in a good position. And right here, just trying to get to the free throw line and find some way to manufacture the point.
Not only does she get to the line, but she knocks them down. 89% free throw shooter. And she was the top scorer her freshman year at Arkansas last year with injury, was limited to just 3 games at Auburn. Even in those 3 games, continued with her scoring touch. Now brings her abilities to Waco. Baylor has finally matched their point total from the first quarter against Southeastern in their last game. Udo has it stripped away. LePage Bugs, does she get a timeout or is it a tie-up? And it's a possession arrow after the tie-up, sending it the other way. Nice work by Ereauna LePage Bugs. Another look at the hustle.
Yeah, just tried to put it on the floor, but who other than Van Guytenbeek is there to hit the ball away and cause the turnover to begin with?
And Jana got the hand on it initially to free it up. And there you see the tie-up. Fauntleroy welcomes the contact. She'll go back to the line. Pardon me, no. It's on Bella.
Offensive foul is called on players number 22, Bella. Her first personal, second team foul.
Baylor with the first double-digit advantage of the day, but unable to add to it there. Roadrunners still looking for their first points of the quarter. 5-point ball game at halftime. Now a 10-point deficit for the first time. And Mia Hammonds never gets a shot. It's off the races with Ereauna LePage Bugs. Bucket won't go.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate miss. You make a great defensive play on one end and just cannot finish on the other.
She was poised to end a 2.5-minute field goal drought for Baylor. Not meant to be. Udo battling with Fauntleroy. Picks up her dribble. Gets help, baseline, finds Rowe. Give Udo the assist. Running point from the paint. LePage Bugs has to be careful with those screens. Van Guytenbeek mismeasures the angle off the glass. And now concern for Ereauna LePage Bugs. Looks like she was gripping at her right. Yeah, she's just out of her shoe right now. They'll have to replace that flat tire.
Yeah, she might have rolled it a little bit when she came down, trying to get that rebound. Definitely a concern for Baylor. She can't continue, but she looks like she'll be okay.
Looks like she's good to continue. Watch that right foot. Sandwiched between a couple of Roadrunners. And probably right there. Yep. Ten to shoot for Rowe. Fires one up. KJ doesn't give up much of a look there. Talia Scott trying to find a rhythm in the second half.
Now, she wasn't going to stay quiet for long. She finds a way to put in the bucket. Already got those 2 free throws, kind of got her settled into the second half, and then knocks down a 3.
Third pair to find the 3-point range today. Baylor still just 6 of 20 from beyond the arc. It doesn't take much. Quick release out of the left hand from Jada Holloman, the transfer from UTRGV.
Yeah, it didn't take long for them to respond. I think she's had some open looks today, but right there, just use a simple jab step, create some space away from Van Dyke and knock it down.
3 different Roadrunners have connected for their 3 3-pointers on 9 attempts. And Baylor briefly with a double-digit lead for the first time this game. Here in the third quarter. Now that lead at 8. Midway through the third period. Lob down low. Little Paige Buggs trying to use that rim to her advantage on a reverse. She'll go to the line. She is 4 for 4 from the charity stripe for all 4 of her points today.
Yeah, just a nice back screen by Scott. They switch, kind of late to the switch, and she's able to gather herself and draw the foul.
I hope we are giving hazard pay to that camera operator up there. Back to a 10-point lead for Baylor. And Baylor hasn't scored more than 6 points today in a single period of play. Right now 9 here in the make it 10 points in the third. Good cut by Robles, baseline from Rowe. You have a feeling throughout the year more often it's going to be Robles finding Rowe. Reversal of roles there. Scott. She's got 9 points all of a sudden after having just 2 at halftime.
Yeah, sometimes it just takes you seeing the ball go through the net and not having those fouls that had her on the bench earlier in the game.
Still plenty of time, no reason to rush for the Roadrunners this trip down. And it's Fauntleroy who has that one gift wrap to her. Extra pass to the corner, Van Guytenbeek no, side of the iron, Robles the rebound. Quickly the other way. Beep, beep. Roadrunners from baseline to baseline.
And you see right there, Scott got out of the way. She has 3 fouls in this game. She did not want to pick up that 4th foul and forced to go to the bench.
4 points now for Allen. And just incidental tripping there. It's a 3-on-none break. And the German knows what to do from there. Amelia Danbauer. Her first 2 points, her first shot of the afternoon. The Roadrunners have made their last 4 buckets. That's pulled them within 2 scores again. Fauntleroy stretches it to 9.
Yeah, she said not so fast. Don't tell them they got that close.
Playing the role of the Coyote today, Bella Fauntleroy. And they will let the physicality go down low after Danbauer knocked off her spot. And Guytenbeek, second chance opportunity after another rebound by DLB. First field goal today for Ereauna. Timeout, Karen Aston. Roadrunners have made 4 of their last 5 shots to keep this one close, including running the fast break.
Yeah, nice fast break by Allen, able to cut into that lead, but not struggling Scott in the first half, who has 3 personal fouls. Little Paige Buggs, just most of her points from the free throw line, so it's good to see that Jana Van Guytenbeek was able to step up and knock down those threes.
That last timeout called by Karen Aston. Hoping to get a little reset here. Udo out to the wing, shot won't go. But the Roadrunners have been rebounding well today. They've out-rebounded Baylor, believe it or not, 26-21 so far. Hardaway makes it look easy.
Yeah, that's her shot. She's gotten into that little hesitation pull-up about 2 or 3 times today and been able to knock down all of them.
Now it's UTSA applying some pressure on Talia Scott up the floor. Johnson to Johnson. Unable to connect that time. And that will lead us to an official timeout. Minute and a half still to go in quarter number 3. Baylor's been able to. Player goes line and misses back-to-back free throws. It is free cupcakes for the students in attendance. But you can't be eligible if the other team doesn't get to the line. Baylor's only been whistled for 6 fouls in this game. None of them sending the Roadrunners to the charity stripe. Quickly, the 9 down low, just firing one up. And Fauntleroy with the rebound, though they will tie her up. Possession arrow will keep it here. Nice job by UTSA.
UTSA has been on the boards today, offensively and defensively, fighting for extra possessions.
And Baylor outscoring the Roadrunners 17-13 here in the 3rd period. Those 17 points are the most in a quarter today for Baylor. 10 to shoot. Oh, mid-range turnaround doesn't fall for Hardaway. Offensive putback. Udo's headed to the line. First time today we are seeing Kayla Nelms, the 4-star recruit out of high school out of Miami, Florida. Now in her 2nd year, the sophomore for Baylor.
You see the fans are stressed out. You just mentioned they wanted these cupcakes and their wish might come true.
Nothing wrong with a little stress eating. Halfway there. This is when they should put up that decibel meter. Oh.
Spoke too soon.
Gonna have to wait for that sugar high. Those again, the first 2 free throws attempted today by UTSA. We'll note Udo had only missed 2 free throws all year. Fauntleroy a tad off. And the offensive putback good. 2nd chance points, courtesy of Kyla Abraham. Hardaway, a little stop and go. Abraham with the 4th block today for Baylor. And a team who's averaging 8, one of the best in the nation. Final seconds, Talia Scott's in double digits with 11. Baylor's best quarter of the day has them out ahead to their largest lead of the afternoon, up by a dozen against the Roadrunners with 10 minutes still to come here in Waco. Give now at v.org/donate. Again, 100% of the donations go directly to cancer research. 4th quarter about to get underway between Baylor and UTSA. Baylor, again, 14th ranked team in the country. Only 1 loss this year against Iowa. Right now enjoying some home cooking. 4th game of a 5-game homestand. Little Paige bugs off the glass. Baylor's largest lead of the day. Everything but the bucket. Driving into the paint there, Allen. Udo battling with DLB. And again, nice confidence for the senior Ereauna Hardaway, the transfer from North Texas.
Yeah, the senior shoot a couple jump shots today right there. Strong move against Markayla Johnson, the freshman, able to finish. And Talia Scott's going to return that favor and say, I can do it better.
She has been perfect this half. Talia Scott, 4 for 4 from the floor, 11 of her 13 points this side of halftime. Also made both of her free throws. So you knew this one was going to go down.
Yeah, she just finds a way to score the ball. Coach Cullen calls her a professional scorer. She is. That's what she is. She may have missed every shot in that first half, but did not care. It was going to shoot it with the utmost confidence in the second half.
A first-year Bear to a fourth-year Bear. Little Paige Buggs. 3 Bears in double digits. Van Geitenbeek, Scott, and Little Paige Buggs. Ereauna's got a dozen. Five-point lead at halftime. Baylor currently up by 16. Udo straight away. It falls to Scott, her first rebound. Ankles are okay. Ego might be a little bruised. Scott. Technically that miss never happened.
Yeah. I'm not sure. That was a crazy possession with the first. You see Robles go flying off of her, no call, and they just continue to play through it, and Udo gets called for that. I think fourth foul now.
It is her fourth. And they are going to pull her out for a few minutes at least. At some point, you'll just have to trust her playing with 4. She's not going to stay on the bench for the rest of this one. And they bring Dan Bauer in for her. And they'll also bring Hardaway back in for Holloman. Just the second time today, Talia's gotten to the free throw line. And a 90% free throw shooter now on the year. $15 points, 13 in the second half for Talia. Couple seconds to spare. Hopefully a shot out in time. Scott comes up with her second rebound. Now Baylor has to make sure they beat the clock across half court. They do.
Yeah, UTSA has struggled on this offensive side of this ball starting the fourth quarter. I think Baylor took it up a notch, and they've just been unable to score.
Johnson, both feet behind the line. No. 3-on-1 at the moment. Scott looking for a little bit of help. Somehow, the 5'9" Talia Scott denies the 6'4" Amelia Danbauer.
Yeah, this is an impressive block right here. Like you said, she has about 6-7 inches on her, and she's able to block her shot.
Is Ryan McGuire interested in a 5'9" middle blocker? Got up there with both hands. A chance for an and one here with a rare trip to the free throw line for Robles. And pardon me, not in the act of shooting. Little Paige Buggs just creating chaos. Out of bounds off of Hammonds.
Yeah, Hammonds had trouble with that all game where she's getting the ball poked. Ereauna's doing a good job of poking at the ball, forcing her to be uncomfortable. And right there, forcing the turnover.
Another look.
Yeah, it's just active hands, not letting her see through the passing lanes to get her teammates the ball.
Udo has come back in for UTSA. This is not your typical bring her in for offense, then pull her out on defense to avoid a fifth foul. They're putting her in defensively.
Well, you said she wouldn't be over there long, and she wasn't over there more than probably a minute, 30 seconds of game time.
And Little Paige Buggs knew Udo could not afford to get too close. Udo trips up, getting back in transition. It's a 20-point lead for Baylor on an 8-0 run. Biggest discrepancy today. And Udo again tripped up. Somehow maintains her dribble to avoid the travel. Hardaway blows by two defenders off the glass, won't go, and Johnson and Udo tie it up. It's going to stay here with the possession arrow.
Yeah, Udo is not playing like she has 4 fouls. She's going after every ball on the offensive rebound that you may think is a foul, but she's going to play through it and play hard.
Her sister Sima is a freshman on this year's team, out with injury. Both of them are from Plano, went to Plano East High School. Roadrunners have not scored in the last 3+ minutes. They've missed their last 4 shots from the floor. 5 to shoot. Allen from about 13 feet out will end the drought. Dunn back in the ball game off the bench. Johnson not going to be rewarded for losing the handle on the ball before the contact, as our officials did not believe she was in control when crashing into a Roadrunner.
I think the past few games, Markella Johnson has upped her offensive game. She comes in for defense, but was making shots in those last few games. In this game, I think she's just forcing it just a little bit. And right there, obviously, the ref thought that she was out of control and did not give her that foul.
And Geitenbeek again, 14 points back in the ball game. Talia Scott now has the game high of 15. Rowe with 10 points is the only Roadrunner in double digits. Scott on a mission. Back to the free throw line.
Yeah, on a mission is right. From that third quarter on, she came into this game. Van Geitenbeek was their leading scorer, but in just a quarter and a half, Scott has made up that ground and now has 15 points and can add to it right here at the free throw line. And
the foul was on Adara Udo. The all-conference standout is done for the day. And fouling out has been an issue for her here in non-conference play as of late. That holiday tournament up in Frisco and here today against number 14 Baylor. As her night comes to an end with just 3 points on 1 of 4 shooting. Did have 6 rebounds. A spectator the rest of the way. See, she is next to Coach Cameron Miles. Of course, his brother CJ had an NBA career. Cameron's been so great with the post players at UTSA. No doubt will get his chances at being a head coach.
Ereauna,
Hardaway with the most recent 2 for the visitors.
Yeah, just a nice use of the back cut, overplaying the position, trying to pinch into the post player and help there, but nice back cut.
Scott from the elbow, and she is human. Her first miss of any kind here in the second half. Baylor led by 4 after the first quarter, led by 5 at halftime. Here in the second half, have outscored the Roadrunners 33-20. Dunn staying glued to Allen. Well, 16-footer for Hardaway.
Yeah, that's her shot. She's knocked down multiple of those today. Just plays very under control, able to knock down those mid-ranges.
Her 13 points are the team high for UTSA. 1 of 2 in double digits for the orange and blue. See if there was an illegal screen. Nikki Collin and Baylor looking to improve to 9-1 here in non-conference play. You just get out the old tinfoil and antenna. National audience on ABC against right now number 2 Texas next weekend in Fort Worth. Again, that's a neutral site game up in DFW between a couple of top 25 programs. Again, Texas coming off their 4th all-time Final Four this last spring. Scott's put Baylor on her back here in the second half after Van Geitenbeek carried a lot of the load in the first half. Two of them combined for 31 of Baylor's 64 points. Little Paige Buggs can't get the baseline stroke to go. She's got 14 points, 5 rebounds today. Roadrunners have Prairie View A&M coming up next weekend. Right now, Prairie View A&M's down the road in Austin. And the score is what you might imagine. Scott, 1 for 3 from beyond the arc. Just a mid-range stroke out of the right hand, won't go.
I'm not sure her own teammate didn't foul her right there from behind.
Not sure, need to find that in the rule book. You have to be fouled by an opponent to go to the free throw line. As Ereauna Hardaway just keeps her head down, puts up another 2 points for her resume. Scott with a high arcing 3, won't go. Lincoln Rose, Jordan Lewis with you. Great to have you with us. 4th of 5 straight home games for Baylor. And Van Geitenbeek will add another. She's now 2 shy of her career high. That's her 5th three-pointer, giving her 17 points for the game high today, tied with Talia. That ends at 9, who didn't join the team until just last month in a tryout when the roster started to get a little thin. Before that, Han, who did have a brief stop at the community college ranks playing basketball, was just a student at UTSA, part of their marketing group. Those are the students who just come out and shoot social media photos. Now she's shooting hoops for the Division I Roadrunners. We haven't seen Han yet today. We can confirm that's number 4 for the green and gold this time, Van Geitenbeek. Got 16 points. Here's Allen. Rebound for Johnson. Final 2 minutes here in regulation. Baylor's led by as many as 20 right now. That lead at a baker's dozen after a 9-0 run for the Roadrunners. And finally that run will come to a halt with Van Geitenbeek, and now U-Team done. Got her own miss. 0 for 2 this trip down. A 3rd chance here for the Roadrunners with Rowe. 4th time the charm. Jada Hallman, and things are getting close. Roadrunners have scored 11 of the last 15 points in this ball game.
And the game seems like it would be closer than it is right now with the way that UTSA.
Saw Baylor will open up conference on the 21st against Tech. They hit the road to Oklahoma State. Mentioned Prairie View A&M when UTSA sees them. It'll be another trip down memory lane. Ty Dillard, former WNBA player, former Texas Longhorn, is on that staff for Prairie View. Talia Scott has 19 points. This is after she just had 2 at halftime.
1 minute remaining in the game.
Final minute in Waco. Rebounded Dunn. And Geitenbeek again 3 points shy of her career high of 19. Lob to KJ. She'll get an assist. Jana, one of 2 players in double-digit assists the other night.
Yeah, she's had an all-around good game today. She's been on the defensive end, getting her hands in the passing lane right there, making a nice pass to Abraham underneath.
Shot clock operator is already headed home. Abraham may have blocked that with her elbow. In one of the top 2 shot blocking teams in the nation, Baylor getting right to their season average of 8. After UTSA went on that 9-0 run, they're just 1 for the last 7 from the floor. They'll have a chance to earn a couple at the free throw line.
Foul is called on the Bears, number 5, Ereauna, Little Paige Buggs. Her 2nd personal foul. 3rd team foul.
missed their opportunity for cupcakes. We've only seen 2 free throws in the game from UTSA up to this point.
I mean, that's basically your difference in the ball game right now. 16-point discrepancy from the free throw line. That won't help. Last-ditch effort for the literal icing on the cupcake in this one. Now it's officially a victory in the eyes of the true Baylor fans. Roadrunners still putting up a fight for the final seconds. First meeting since 2013 between these two Texas teams. What a battle